When it comes to my favorite food as a child, I would say I was really big on hot sauce. So pretty much anything that you could put hot sauce in it, I was killing it. I loved hot sauce. Now, to be honest with you, I do not like eye stuff because I'm more of a Zoom person. I'm a little old school, but I just don't do eye stuff. But then when I started my training for my first deployment, which I had a Zune, I had to actually transfer over to an iPod due to the fact that I couldn't transfer music to my musical device. So some of my fellow Marines and sailors, that's all they had was iPods. So I can't really recollect any most of my favorite songs, but pretty much I kind of like, I'm more of a the R&B, jazz, soul type stuff. So pretty much I don't really have a favorite song. I like anything that moves and inspires. Now this was actually the easy one. My favorite quote is, "You want me to tell you the truth? Or you want me to lie to you?" That has a lot of meaning. Something I came up with, and it's just something I say typically when I know that an individual is not gonna like what I have to say, which is typically the truth. So, um, society nowadays is taking things and they'll rather be lied to versus the truth. And so it's good to know what type of individual or what type of audience you're dealing with because not everybody can handle the truth. That's why now I joke around with my family. I say Xbox on, Xbox off for being asleep or being woke. Well, me personally, I'm always on the hustle, always on the grind, trying to find a way to promote family in the community and just going out trying to learn. I feel like personally, you wasted a day if you didn't learn something. So as far as spending time indoors and active, like pretty much, I just like spending time with my wife. I like spending time with my family. Now, my wife can actually attest to this. I absolutely hate cleaning the bathroom. The bathroom is not my thing. I hate the bathroom. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. We go back and forth. Every once in a while when she needs help with the bathroom, I normally I hop on the sinks and the mirrors real quick. Um, as far as exercise, I enjoy spending adult time with my wife for the most part. Um, and I have now grown to like the time I spend with the fellas. We go out and play basketball and different sports that way. That's a new thing that I like to do now. Kind of like to unwind, see what the new thing is out there. Kind of just have some mentorship type situation. Talk about stocks and things like that. So that's pretty much my form of exercise that I like to do as of right now. Time of the day, I would say nighttime. It's just something about how beautiful the world looks when it's surrounded by black. The lights are just so beautiful. Like it doesn't even matter. Like you can be in the slums, you can be third world country, you could be anywhere you want to in the world, but it's just something about that those little bitty lights that you can actually see kind of peeking through all of that darkness. My favorite day of the week will be Saturday because that's the only day you really have a full day off. I kind of like to use that to do stuff in the community and do stuff with my family. My favorite month of the year is definitely hands down November, and that's because it's the only month that all of my family actually comes together. We'll come together and spend Thanksgiving with each other. My least favorite mode of transportation, if it has to do with going cross country, hands down it's a plane, or going for a long distance, hands down it's a plane. Cannot stand planes. I hate planes. But from day to day, my least favorite mode of transportation is the box, i.e., the vehicle. I hate cars. I'm a motorcycle rider. I love motorcycles. Um, and so my least favorite transportation will be cars. My favorite body part would definitely be the skull. Without that, you'll cease to exist. Yeah, this is actually a weird question, but I actually love the sound of all of my children playing and not arguing. That is actually pretty amazing. It's a very, very wonderful and angelic time when that is happening. Yeah, actually, me and my wife talked about this. Actually, I would love to to do some pictures of her under a waterfall, or paint a picture of her under a waterfall. That would be something I find amazing. I'm really not sure. I'm not sure I would want to actually do that, just because if you do that, then you will not be able to move forward and grow. I feel the changes that our body makes and the changes that our mind makes as we age, allows us to actually be humble and appreciate what we do have, and the things that we wish we did have. Um, Aging is a wonderful way of life, forcing you to be humble. Not really afraid of death. If when it comes, it comes. I want to really, me personally, I want to do much. I probably pray more, but that's about it. To be honest, and not trying to get all political, I would like to see what life was like before slavery in America. I would like to see how people were living in America before slavery, and um, we can get. I know I get like little bits and pieces of that. Actually, meeting people all around the world that's never had to endure that. I know that slavery is something that still goes on, but I'm just saying as a whole, like actually having actual culture that I can actually relate to. Um, I think that would be something that I would love to actually see. Um, Learning how to use wisdom to instill more patience, to listen, to learn, and to learn not to respond. To listen, to learn, and not responding is like huge. A lot of times I feel I catch myself doing it. I catch other people doing it. It's just like typically, we are always listening to respond to the person. Like we always have something to say, and I feel like having that wisdom just to be more patient, I think will be something awesome. I'm working on that every single day, but it's not 100% there yet. First and foremost, I would definitely thank God for the wonderful blessing that was bestowed upon me. Then I would make sure my family had enough money for college. Then would help the community. I would pretty much not change much. I would definitely probably buy a house, a big mansion that my whole family could live in. And other than that, I wouldn't really do much. Definitely, I know I'll be really big on trying to help out the community. uh, this is uh, this is funny. As far as an animal, I'll go with a lion. A drink. Back in my days, I used to drink a lot. I actually going over a year strong, a little bit over a year strong now. Since I got a drink, had any drink of liquor. But I know that if I would be a drinker, it'd definitely be Hennessy and Deserono. My ice cream flavor, I like homemade vanilla ice cream with walnuts. Well, that would definitely be Black Panther. Now, so while I was in Japan, I people thought I was Denzel Washington and Will Smith. That was interesting. I actually signed a picture with as Will Smith. I just put Will up there for my last name, so I thought it was pretty interesting. This is actually something I learned when something kind of like hit me after talking to my wife, like when we first started dating, and we were having a conversation, and it was at that moment when I actually had the answer to this, and pretty much I just want to be completely empty by giving all I know and all that I learned to my children and the community. Um, it's just like I really feel like that is the purpose of life. I feel like our purpose of life is to one procreate, and for two to help others, to be selfless versus selfish. Before, I know when I was younger, my mindset was really focused on money and material things. But then as time grew, I realized that um, you can't put happiness on something that's infinite. If you put happiness on all your happiness on how much money you have, then you'll never be satisfied. So I ended up changing my mindset, and life ended up being a lot more enjoyable after that. I typically try to find something that will promote positive energy and be less stress. Well, I cannot 100% reveal that yet because I'm actually working on that after I finish my fourth book in around 2018, 2020. I'm actually going to dedicate the book to my children, and that actually one of my goals. Going to talk about my life, start to finish, and it'll be able to give people more of a better perspective of my life. It's a very interesting story. I tell people all the time, kind of like my boy Kevin Gates. I can't make this stuff up. My life has been a very adventurous road. I've been in low valleys and high mountains, and I've been walking in the straight and narrow. So it's very interesting. So as time progresses, like little snippets here and there will probably be thrown out there in different videos. But overall, I do plan on writing a book about my life. Well, man, this is like, but it's crazy. Like putting your life there. But I really feel like if I did have to make a soundtrack, I know for a fact, "Full of Me" by Michelle will be on there. "I'll Be There" by Jackson 5 will definitely be on there. "Hands Down" and "A Sentimental Mood" by Duke Ellington and John Coltrane. My jam. Anybody that knows me know Mo Better Blues would definitely be up there by Bradford Marsalis. That actually used to be on my website. Um, and "I Want to Go Outside in the Rain" by the Dramatics. Oh man, I wish my wife was here. So yes, my first date with my wife. We'll probably get into some of that in our other in one of the series that we plan on kicking off at the beginning of the new year. So be sure to look out for that. I'm actually not really a big emotional person, uh, but the Khalif Browder story on Netflix. That was definitely it for me. I almost teared up on that. It was just definitely a must watch. Definitely a must watch TV series. Yeah. Um. Well. Watch people drowning themselves due to fears, pride, and money, just unable to let go of the past. Um. That's yeah. I don't have much to talk about that. Yeah, so learning to forgive and humble myself for others to grow. Yeah. Just thinking the older peers that I had, that I was speaking with, like, my pops and, people that I had that was around me that were older. Just thinking that, they just had no idea what I was going through. It's a circle of life. Same thing goes on now. So I just had to find stuff on my own, just to crawl back and go down the same road as everyone else did, and when I didn't even have to. Um, yeah, circle of life. My wife is an amazing cook. I have an amazing meal every morning, noon, and night. So look at God. When I had my first child, I would say that was my first moment of really being my first memory of really being happy. Yeah, I remember this day like it was yesterday. when I think I started working around 13, 15, between 13 and 15, I was actually in Ramstein, Germany, and I got my first job working as a bagger, called the Dads Club. It stood for Dedicated Adults in a Dedicated Service, and pretty much it was just helping kids, get off the streets and make money the right way versus going out doing unorthodox things to get money. And I can remember all I bought was football cards, basketball cards. I bought a lot of peach tea, and my first big purchases was 3 FUBU shirts, 100% polyester. There was just, I think they were like $60 each. I had to put them on layaway, and I got them off. It was an amazing day. Um, when I got pulled over by a cop for speeding, then another cop showed up for reinforcement. I will say that was definitely a time I got real nervous. I was going through some things, and I was doing a little speeding, and I most definitely got pulled over, and found out that they thought that I was somebody else. And so it wasn't until my active duty military card fell out my wallet when they actually realized that, oh, he's actually telling the truth. So yeah, I was pretty nervous. Well, I learned that people can be true and faithful. That was not that we're actually not meant to be alone. Um, and if you stay doing what's right, your light will actually shine through all of the darkness, the trees, and what we call the forest. You'll be able to see that light through those trees. The truth will always destroy the lies, and love, a lot of love. Um, if you give it, one can never be defeated. This is a funny family story. The time I was supposedly knocked down the Christmas tree, um, on the VHS that we had. Yes, VHS. That's a little black tape you put it, in the VCR. We don't use those anymore, but back then, that's what we used. And it looks like I knocked down the Christmas tree, but only 2 people know the truth. And this is the first time being exposed to the true meaning of perception is everything. In some cases, but I feel the awesome picture does not say many words, but yet showers down emotions. I don't really feel like words are not always necessary. I just feel like the way a person feels is more important than words.